Hey everyone, welcome back to the TED Talks YouTube channel. And today I'm going to talk to you about monetizing your subject knowledge. Now, I made over 6 figures in monetizing my knowledge in property and a bit of business and a bit of mindset and a bit of branding within that. Now, there's a few different ways to monetize your subject knowledge, but I have to start by saying this. If you haven't done your subject, you haven't been in your business for a very long time. And this means in most businesses, 6 to 12 months is not a long time, especially not in something that's really slow like property. In my opinion, I think you need to think carefully about if you should be monetizing your knowledge, because if that time period means that you haven't actually got the seasons of your business, you haven't been through the ups, through the downs, you haven't been through the challenging bits and the easy parts and the bits that you didn't know what to do in, and then have learned that, how can you teach people? You can teach people 60% of it, but you can't give them a rounded, full, I've been through it, I've got the scars, I'm a veteran. You can't. And with some businesses, a year might be enough, 6 months might be enough, depending on the speed of which it grows. But, I think 12 months is a good thing to go by. You might be thinking, oh, all these guys on Instagram, they keep saying, just sell your product knowledge. You've done it for a minute. Okay, they're dickheads. Do you want to be one too? Up to you. But I'm going to talk to you today, once you've gone past that stage of should you do it or shouldn't you do it, I'm going to kind of go through a whistle-stop tour of how you can do this, right? Now, I think I started doing this 2.5 years after I've been in property, if I remember correctly. There's 2 main ways, in my opinion. One is mentorship, which is you and me talking like this, one-on-one. It is very time-consuming, expensive, as it should be, because it's your time. You will find yourself repeating yourself, but you want it to be mentorship. You don't want that to be education, because you're going to spend 7 hours covering something with her, then with him, then her, then her, then him. Wait a minute. There's a camera right here. Let me record it one time, and then I can sell it to them, and them. But I don't have to do it every single time. And this means you have a product. It means you have something you can sell and not necessarily have to sell and then deliver. You've delivered this product once, and this is e-learning, right? This is, imagine YouTube, but on steroids, full of learning stuff. Click on the link below, you'll see my e-learning. Go have a look at it, right? How I've structured it. So the other side from mentoring is education. Now, you need education first, and then people need mentoring. So this then allows you to offer 2 different things, but also package them together as one, right? As I do in property, and as I do with branding as well. I've got branding education course, then I also offer mentoring in branding for businesses and people, or workshops, whatever you want to call it. So the education piece for me is my favorite, because you record it one time, you edit it, you upload it, you're done. It's then a product that you can sell, and when it's digital, you can update it. So you need to think about which one you're going to do. You might only pick one, or a combination, or whatever. But that's, think about why and how you can do that. Now, there's a lot of people probably doing what you want to do in your sector. So you really need to think about what's your niche, who's your target audience, how are you going to reach them, and why are they going to want to work with you instead of someone else? These are really important things you need to think about, because, let's say you're teaching about nutrition or fitness or how to start a recruitment business. There are going to be tens of people who are doing the same thing. So why do you stand out, and why are people going to want to speak to you? You need to think about that, because without that, what's the point of starting? You're just adding mess to the mess that's already out there. Now, sometimes the USP will be you. Just like with TED Talks, it's me. You're going to hate me or love me because of me. You're going to work with me or avoid me because of me. And that's cool. There's no issue with that. So maybe look at other people in your sector, look at other people in other sectors and how they are delivering and how they're monetizing their subject knowledge. Because there's lots of people doing it in lots of different ways, and you're going to pick how. One bit of advice I'd give you is don't sell dreams. If you want to make lots of money and be immoral, then please do sell dreams. But if you want a realistic business and you want to do it correctly, you need to tell people the reality, aka how hard it is in any business to have a business, right? You need to show the pros and the cons. You then need to develop a product or a service. So, this is the e-learning, the education, or the mentoring. You then need to develop a marketing plan. Like, how are you going to market that? What's the content around that? How are you going to share enough, but not everything, so that people still come to you? What's that balance? You need to work on that. Again, look at what other people are doing. You need to look at pricing. So look at what other people are charging in your sector. Look at the value that they're giving for it. Look at what you value your time as, your experience, your comparative experience, and, do it accordingly. And, when it comes to pricing, you may not get it right straight away. You may want to kind of rejig it, look at it, offer some discounts in the first place, get some testimonials in, and then kind of go for a price. And look, your price should increase every 6 months to a year. Inflation, yesterday's price is not today's price. So, don't just think you should keep it the same forever, but always keep an eye on your competition and, what are they offering for what sort of price? But make sure you have a pricing strategy in place and ensure that you are giving so much value that people don't question the price. They say, wow, I'm getting that much for that. I'm in, right? And of course, if if we're going to do mentoring, then you want some upsells in there. To be fair, I don't upsell that much because mentoring is very, very draining. So I don't want to work with people who really contact me and are really kind of the people I want to work with. So make sure that, if you are pushing the mentoring kind of piece from the education, make sure there are upsells. Make sure there's a reason for people to want to work with you after. As I say to people, look, if you do my e-learning, hopefully you don't have to work with me, right? Because hopefully it's enough for you. But of course, there'll always be people who are going to want a helping hand or who are going to want to work with you further. But look, to conclude, think about why you're doing this. Think about how you're going to do it and if you should do it. Then think about what you're going to produce, whether it's mentoring, whether it's e-learning, combination of both. Look at your competitors, learn from them, create the content and make it as amazing as possible. Create a pricing strategy and a marketing strategy. Now, without a marketing strategy, I've seen people make courses who have very few followers and who are not very known at all. And instead of working on that course and doing all that crap to make one sale a year, real talk, they should have worked on their brand beforehand to build that up to the point that people are asking, hey, do you do this? Do you educate? Do you do this? Right? And there's no sort of one size fits all, but the bigger your brand, the bigger your influence, the more people are going to be interested in working with you, right? And funnily enough, the sort of less you sell, although you do need to sell, the less you sell, the less you kind of push it in people's faces, the more money you're going to make, the more problems you're going to solve, the more people are going to talk about you positively because you're actually helping them. So if you want to learn more about this, send me a message on Instagram or go check out my e-learning below. It might interest you to learn about branding. It's going to be very important if you're launching a course, and my branding module is relevant for everything, but also just have a look at my e-learning and how it's structured, because that might help inspire you for your product. So there we go, people. If you want to monetize, I've only made 6 figures plus from it in net profit, but if you really want to go crazy and go into the millions, which plenty of people do, the same principle, just at a different scale. So make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon and leave a comment, people. Let's talk.